Hello friends and family, welcome to Come Sit at My Table. We are Tom and Melissa, and we're really happy that you have come to sit at our table today. We're making cookies. Who doesn't love a good cookie? Today we're making double chocolate espresso cookies. Now everything that's in this recipe you should probably already have at home, except maybe not the espresso powder. If you don't have espresso powder, you will need it for these cookies because it's essential, and we'll talk about that in just a minute. All right, let's show you what you're going to need to make these cookies. First, you're going to need 1 cup of semi-sweet chocolate chips. And these are just, it's a bag of Nestle chocolate chips. And we're going to melt these in the microwave with 2 tablespoons of butter. So you're going to need some butter. You're also going to need 3/4 of a cup of white granulated sugar, just regular white sugar, 2 eggs, 2 tablespoons of milk, and I'm using just whole white milk. And you know, when I was getting these ingredients together, I was thinking, you could even use chocolate milk in this. That wouldn't hurt anything. That would just give you a little more chocolate. But that's just 2 tablespoons of white milk. And you're going to need a teaspoon of vanilla. Those 4 things you will whisk together. Then you're going to need 1 cup of all-purpose flour, 1/4 cup of unsweetened cocoa. And I'm using Hershey's today, but it's just 1/4 cup of unsweetened cocoa. You're going to need 1 teaspoon of baking powder. You're going to need 1/2 teaspoon of kosher salt. And if you don't have kosher salt, that's fine. Just use regular table salt. And then you're going to need 1 teaspoon of espresso powder. Now, Melissa and I are not coffee fans. We don't drink coffee. We don't like the taste of it. We do like the smell of it, but we don't like the way it tastes. But I promise you, you will not taste the espresso in these cookies. It's just enough that it enhances the flavor of the chocolate without you tasting the coffee at all. So don't leave it out. It's a very important, integral ingredient in these cookies. So let's get started by getting our butter and our chocolate chips in the microwave. And we just need 2 tablespoons of butter with our 1 cup of chocolate chips, and we're going to melt those in the microwave. I'm going to set it for about 30 seconds to start, and we'll just let that run for a minute, well, for 30 seconds, while we put in our 3/4 cup of sugar. Well, that's not good. Okay, our 2 eggs, our 2 tablespoons of white milk. You know, the next time I make this, now that I've thought about it, I think I'll try chocolate milk. And I think I said 1 teaspoon of vanilla, but I'm pretty sure it's 2. Let me check just to make sure. It is 2 teaspoons of vanilla. So we're going to put in 2 teaspoons, and I'll just kind of guess. There's 1, there's 2. Good enough. Doesn't hurt if you have a little less or a little more than you see in the recipe. And we're going to whisk that together just to let those kind of cream and incorporate. And while that's doing its job, I will check the chocolate chips and butter. You can see they have started to melt, but they're not completely melted. It's really close though.
So you're not going to have chocolate chips inside the cookie?
Not inside the cookie, even though it is double chocolate, because we are going to put chocolate chips on top of the cookies. So let me scrape this off, and we're going to put it back in the microwave, and this time we'll do it just for 15-second increments, just until it is melted. How's that coming? pretty good.
Good.
Okay. We'll let that just keep running. And our chocolate's done here. And that looks pretty good. It has seized up a little bit. That's not going to hurt anything. It will mix right in. So, let's put it in and let it mix up with that egg mixture. It will mix right in there. Get it all down in there. Might need a little spatula to get all this out. You really never know about melting chocolate chips and butter together. Sometimes they'll cream up really nicely, and other times they kind of seize up on you. But it doesn't hurt anything. We're still going to whisk them in. Okay. Use my finger. Get that chocolate off of me. Now, in a bowl, we're going to put our 1 cup of all-purpose flour, 1/4 cup of unsweetened cocoa, 1 teaspoon of our baking powder, our kosher salt, and our espresso powder. And again, I cannot stress enough to you how important it is to put that espresso powder in these cookies. It really does make a difference. If you've never bought it before, it should be in the aisle at your grocery store with like instant coffee beans and all that. Okay. That is all whisked up. So now we're just going to add this. Melissa, I want you to show how smooth now this chocolate mixture is. See how nice and creamy and smooth that is?
That's nice.
So, now I've got a little bit of chocolate right there that did not get mixed in. It's being stubborn and clinging to the side of the bowl. So I'm just going to whisk that in real quick. Okay. Now, let's put in our flour cocoa mixture. And hope we don't have a cloud all over the kitchen. Okay. I think I'm just going to keep whisking rather than switching to the paddle. I might change my mind, decide to go to the paddle. I think I'm going to need to. Yeah, it's coming together. Actually, that looks really good. Okay. Let's scrape everything down and make sure it's all mixed up really well. Look how thin this batter is. This cookie dough is not thick like you think of cookie dough. This is a thinner batter, almost like, I don't know, almost like a brownie.
That's what I was thinking, like a brownie.
Yeah, it's almost like a brownie batter. So you're probably thinking, well, how are you going to scoop that out into cookies? Well, that's a great question. Thank you for asking. We're going to stick this in the freezer for about 15 or 20 minutes after we get it mixed up and let it firm up before we scoop it out. Because if we scooped it now, it would pretty much just spread all over the cookie sheet. Okay, that's it. So, I'm going to clean off my whisk and my spatula, and we're going to stick this bowl in the freezer for 15-20 minutes or so, just until it firms up. Then we'll come back and scoop out our cookies onto our cookie sheet. I'm going to scoop them out onto my cookie sheet and put them in the freezer so that they freeze solid. I just like having cookie dough balls in the freezer for any time we need them. If we have company that comes by and we want cookies, we can pull out as many as we want and bake them. If Melissa and I are here in the evening and one of us has a raging sweet tooth, we can pull out 1 or 2 cookies each and throw them in the oven. So that's how I'm going to do it. You can, once they're scooped out and they're firm, you can bake them immediately, but we'll talk about that when we come back and scoop them out. We'll be back as soon as these are firmed and coming out of the freezer. Our cookie dough has been in the freezer for about 15 minutes and it's firmed up nicely. Now I have used my scoop, and this is just a 3 tablespoon scoop, but you can use whatever size you want your cookies to be. And I have scooped out 5 cookies for Melissa and me to have here. The rest of this I will scoop out onto another tray, and we will put those in the freezer when they're completely frozen. Then I will bag them up in Ziploc freezer bags and keep them for us to use later. But after I scooped them out, I just took the palm of my hand and kind of flattened them a little bit. You can see that they're flatter than if I had just scooped them. That just helps them to bake a little more evenly. And then I'm just pushing some chocolate chips right into the top and around the sides. It doesn't matter how many you put what you like. I want it to be enough that whoever's eating it will look at it and say, oh, that's a chocolate chip cookie. So I put about 8 to 10 chocolate chips on top. Now we have preheated our oven to 325 degrees. And we'll put these in for about 10 or 11 minutes and check them. You do not want to overbake cookies. Well, we don't want to overbake cookies. We like our cookies just a little underbaked because when you take them out of the oven, they're going to keep baking for a few minutes. They don't stop instantly. So we take them out just before we think they're completely done. And you'll notice that I use cookie sheets that have no sides. I just use a flat pan because as soon as they come out of the oven, I'm going to just slide those right off onto the counter. That way they do not keep cooking on that pan. All right. By the way, this cookie sheet thing I'm using is probably 30-some years old, but it's a good one. All right, we're going in 325 for about 10 or 11 minutes, and then we'll check them. It'll take somewhere between 10 and 14 minutes probably. When they're done and they're cooled, we'll come back and let you see what they look like. Our cookies are out of the oven. They baked for about 10 to 11 minutes. I don't think it was a full 11 minutes. And they look absolutely perfect. Now, a couple of things before I taste one of these. First, this is a sticky cookie dough. I should have mentioned that earlier, but it is sticky when you scoop it out, even after it's been in the freezer for 15 to 20 minutes. So it does help if you dip your cookie scoop in some warm water before you scoop it out. It just helps the cookie release a little easier. Also, I think I mentioned that this cookie scoop I use today is a 3 tablespoon cookie scoop. We think that's the perfect size. It is for us. It makes a big enough cookie that one cookie will usually satisfy us. And it's large enough, but it's not too large. So we like that size. Now, if you use a 3 tablespoon cookie scoop like I did, you should get exactly 12 cookies. We did these 5 in the oven, and then there were 7 more that I scooped out and put chocolate chips on and put in the freezer for us to have later. So that size cookie scoop made 12 cookies. Of course, if you use a smaller scoop, you're going to get more cookies. If you use a larger scoop, you'll get less. But a 3 tablespoons should give you a dozen cookies. Now, the fun part. These are still a little warm because we need to finish the video. We have dinner plans with friends, and so we need to finish the video and go eat. And you know, a cookie before dinner is never bad.
Life is short.
All right, babe, you going to take the first bite?
Well, sure. I mean, if you insist.
I insist.
Now it's good.
Ooh, it's gooey. Oh my. These are so good. Do you taste the coffee?
No, but I can definitely taste that it's an enhanced flavor of
Right.
chocolate. It's a stronger chocolate.
It is. It's a stronger chocolate flavor, but you don't taste the coffee. If you don't like a gooey cookie, you might want to bake them another 3 to 4 minutes, maybe 14, 15 minutes, rather than 10.
Yeah, it's not crispy at all.
These are not crispy. They are a soft, chewy, almost gooey cookie. So, you decide how you like your cookies. Let me wipe my hands off here. Okay. We appreciate you watching our videos. Melissa and I really have enjoyed the comments that many of you have left. Just great comments. So nice and sweet, and we really do appreciate that. We would appreciate also if you would go right below this video and give us a thumbs up, just says you liked our video. And on the other side, if you have not already, we would appreciate you clicking that subscribe button. That just helps you join our channel. And right beside of it is a little notification bell. If you'll click that and the word all, then you'll be notified every time we put up a new video. It doesn't cost a penny. It's all free to click the like and the subscribe and the little notification bell. But it helps us build our channel. Also, right below the video is a little share button. If you would, we'd appreciate you clicking that and sharing it to your own social media so your friends and family will know about our channel. Also, remember that right below the video is a description box. It'll have the title of the cookies, double chocolate espresso cookies. If you'll click in that box where you see the title, that box will expand. Melissa always puts the written recipe in that box, so you don't have to try to remember it or write it down as we go through the video. It's already written there for you. All you have to do is expand that box and look at it. And we want you to know that you are always welcome to come sit at my table. Have a great day and enjoy yourself a cookie, even before dinner. Have a great day.